Hello, friends. Welcome to my channel, Academic Made Easy PC.
If you have not subscribed my channel, subscribe it and also press the bell icon.
In today's video, we will be learning Class 11 Maths, Chapter 1 Sets. In day-to-day life, we will come across so many examples for sets. For example, let's take the gang of our friends. That is a set. When we have a gang of friends, we'll say that this is my set, no? So that's the great example for set. And one more example, let's take cricket team. That is a set. And a pack of cards. That is a set. So we can give more and more examples for sets. Okay. So now let's get started. So first I will teach you the representations. So this representation is very important. So first one is N. Capital letter N denotes natural numbers, W whole numbers, Q for rational numbers, R real numbers, Q plus for positive rational numbers, R plus for positive real numbers, Z for integers, Z plus for positive integers. When we have only these letters with no sign over here in the power, it means it represents both negative as well as positive. Okay, so if I have Q plus, only positive numbers are represented. Okay, so this is one important representation we will be learning throughout. Now let me give you a definition for set. A set is a well-defined collection of objects. Okay, a set is a well-defined collection of objects. This is a definition for sets. It means under a particular category, some elements will be there. No, that is called a set. For example, as I said, in your friends gang, your friends are in the category of human beings. So in your friends category, everyone will be human beings, isn't it? That is well defined. Okay, so such types will be called as well defined collection of objects. So when I say so now when I say that set of numbers, only numbers will be taken, no words will be taken, that is no alphabets will be taken. So that is a well defined collection of objects. And also I said cricket team, no, the people who know to play cricket very well will be in the cricket team. So that is a well defined set. So in the cricket team, no footballers will be there, only the cricketers will be there. So that is a well defined set. So I'm saying objects, no, now here. So you all might think, what is that object? For example, if I have a set A, so I'm saying set of numbers. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, etc. I'm saying. So this is my object. Each and every numbers inside my set is called an object. Okay, so this object can also be called as elements or members of the set. Okay, the first note is over. The second note, sets are usually represented by capital letters. That is, the set here, no, if I say set A is represented by the capital letter, not the small letter. That only is mentioned over here, and the elements in the small letters. Sometimes we can have capital letters in the set element also. Okay, and this symbol is very important, which we will be learning throughout, even in 12th standard and in your higher studies also we will be learning these symbols. So this symbol represents belong to. Okay, it's just like a E, first C, then one line here. So this letter denotes belongs to, and if I have a slash over here, then it is called does not belong to. Now let me give you all example for set. So I have written set A as X, Y and Z. So this will be called as objects or elements or members. So here A has 3 objects. Okay, so in set B I am taking 1, 2, 3. So it can be whatever set. For example, I have given like this. Okay, so now let me make you all understand why did we use that belong to and does not belong to. Okay, so for example, if I say X belong to A, it means I'm checking whether X is present in A. Okay, set A. So x is here. So x is over here. So x is in the set A. So I will say that x is in set A, so that I will represent it as x belong to A. Okay. So next, if I take x belong to B, I have to check whether x is present in the set B. So I have only numbers where I don't have x. So I will say that x does not belong to B. Okay, I think you will be clear with belong to and does not belong to, and you can give any example for sets. So this is one of the example. So when we go through sums, no, you will come across many examples of sets. Now let me teach you all the method of representation of sets. Okay, so we have two methods, which is set builder form and it is roster form. So now let me give you all an example. So for example, let us take, I have to represent the set of numbers, natural numbers. Okay, set of natural numbers. So I have to write it in set builder form first. So to write in set builder form, I have to write, so this is flower braces which represents set. Okay, so x such that x belong to n. Okay, this is a set builder form. So this will be in the form of statement. Okay, so when we take roster form, set A itself I am taking, set A is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, this is this should be enclosed with the flower braces. Okay, so anything that is enclosed with flower braces is called set. Okay, so I have written here A is equal to x such that this symbol represents such that x belong to n. Okay, or else you have one more method where you can write A is equal to x such that x is a natural number. Okay, so any set that is denoted in the form of words or expressed in the form of words, it is called set builder form. If the elements are directly written, then it is called roster or tabular form. Okay. Next topic is types of sets. So in this topic we will be learning different type of sets. Okay, so first set is empty set. So for example, when we take set A is equal to, nothing is present over here, no, so or else B is equal to 5. So this symbol is called 5 or null or void. Okay, so the set which does not contain any element is called the empty set. Okay, so empty means there is nothing, isn't it? The same thing in a particular set, if no elements are present, then it is called the empty set. So one more example I would like to give. So I'm writing it in set builder form. So C is equal to x such that x belong to n, where 10 less than x less than 11. So when this is my set, I have to get one natural number between 10 and 11. Can I get any number between 10 and 11 which is a natural number? No. So that I will say C is equal to null set. Okay. So empty set is also called as void set or null set. Okay. Second type, finite sets and infinite sets. Finite means that has an end. Okay, so infinite means it does not have an end, it keeps on going. For example, when we take A is equal to x such that x belong to n, where x is less than or equal to 10. Okay, so now natural numbers So now my set says that my x is natural number and it is also less than or equal to 10. So the elements in my set will be, so this is a set builder form. Now if I keep it in roster form, it will be easy for me. So natural number starts from 1. So I'm writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Why? Because it is less than or equal to, so I am taking it as 10 here. Okay, so I have 10 elements where I can count my elements, so then it is called a finite set. For example, one more set I'm giving you. If I say 5, okay, so nothing is present over here, even this is called a finite set. Why? Because nothing is there, so we can conclude, so therefore it is called a finite set. So when we are able to find the last element or the number of elements in a particular set, then it is called a finite set. Okay, so if we have x such that x belong to n, where x is greater than or equal to 10. It means if I write it in roster form, 11, 12, 13, and it keeps on going till infinity, isn't it? We cannot have an end because it is greater than 10. The natural numbers goes on till infinity. No, we don't know the end. Then it is called as infinite set. Okay, so I think you will be clear. Since here it is less than, I have to take the numbers which is lesser than or equal to 10. Okay, so I took 1, 2, 3, 4 till 10. Okay, so I am able to count the number of elements, or I can say this is stopping at this point. So I will say this is a finite set. Even this is a finite set. Why? Because I'm saying this does not have any element, so I will conclude with that, so that it is a null set, so that it is a finite set. So here if I take x is greater than or equal to 10, so I will have 10 also here. So now I have started from 10 and it keeps on going till infinity. I don't know what number it ends on. Okay, so that I will say that it is infinite because I'm not able to conclude by saying this is the last element. Okay, I think you will be clear. Now we'll move on to the definition. If the set does not contain any elements, or the set which contain a definite number of elements, it is called finite set. Otherwise it is called infinite set. So here I am able to count the number of elements. There is a definite number of elements here as well as here. Here it is 0 and here it is 10. No, I am able to count. But whereas here, am I able to count? No. So therefore it is called as infinite set and here it is called as finite set. Third type, equal sets. As the name suggests, you may understand that equal sets is nothing but the two sets should be equal. The two given sets should be equal. For example, I have given A is equal to 1, 2, 3. No, B is equal to 2, 1, 3. So however we write, we will get 1, 2, 3 only. No. So if I rewrite the set B, I will get 1, 2, 3. The same elements is present, no. So we will say that A is equal to B. Okay. So now let me take one more example. A, B, C and set B with A, C. Okay, so I have A here also. B I don't have here. C I have here. Both here. Okay. So C I have in both the sets also. So now I can't say A is equal to B. Why? Because every elements in both the sets should be equal. That is, here I have 1, here also 1, 2, here also 2, 3, 3. So the two sets should be equal. Okay, it should have the same elements. Okay, then I will say it is equal. If not, it is not equal. two sets A and B are said to be equal if and only if both sets A and B have exactly same elements. They both have same elements, but do they have exactly same elements? No. Why? Because B is extra over here or B is missing here. So I will say this is not equal. Then A is equal to B. Okay, this will be clear. One more type, this is not in our syllabus, but you just know. Okay, so equivalent sets. Okay, there's a difference between equal sets and equivalent sets. Okay, equal sets means the two sets should have exactly same elements, whereas in equivalent sets the number of elements should be equal. For example, I have taken A is equal to 1 and 2. In set B, A and B. Okay, so here I have 1 two elements over here. Here also I have two elements. So the number of elements in the given sets should be equal, then it is called equivalent. So n of A represents the number of elements in the set A. Okay, so n of A means number of elements in set A. So the number of elements in set A is equal to 2 and number of elements in set B is equal to 2. Okay, so then it is called equivalent sets. Definition: two finite sets A and B are said to be equivalent if this represents if and only if. If and only if. Okay, if and only if they contain the same number of elements. This had to be noted. Okay, this symbol represents if and only if. Okay, so we will be often using this only. So two finite sets A and B are said to be equivalent if they contain same number of elements. So there's a slight difference between equal sets and equivalent sets. The last type of set is singleton set. Single here means one, no. As the name suggests, if the set is having only one element, then it is called singleton set. So the example I have given, B is equal to 1. So number of elements in set B is equal to 1. Okay, then it is called a singleton set. So definition: if a set A has only one element, then we call it as singleton set. So now the next topic is subsets. Now let's see what is subset. So I have given your example. I'm taking the set A as A, E, I, O, U, the set of vowels. Okay. So next the set B is equal to X such that X belongs to English alphabet. English alphabet is A to Z. Okay. So now this B contains A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y and Z. Okay, so many elements are there. Okay, so I have here only 5 elements. Okay, so now I will say that A is subset of B, means that the elements in A, set A, is present even in set B. All the elements in set A is present in set B. So see, A is there, E, I, O, U. Okay, all the elements in set A is present in set B, isn't it? So I'm saying A is subset of B. Okay, sub means what? Under that, no. So it is a subset. It is just like a branch of B. Okay, so A is a subset of B where A is not equal to B. These two sets equal? No. So therefore I'm saying A is not equal to B. Okay, now let me give you a definition. A set A is said to be a subset of B if every element of A is also an element of B. Okay, this had to be noted. Every element of A is also an element of B. Okay, so then it is denoted as A is subset of B. Okay, so this symbol, it is just like a long C. Okay, this represents subset symbol. Okay, so the elements in set A is represented by small letters, as I said in the first note. No, this A belong to A and A also belong to B. Okay, this is the condition. The same elements is present in B. Okay, this is the subset. And two important notes is A is proper set of B. It means the number of elements in A is less than number of elements in B. No, n of A is less than n of B. No, then it is called proper set. If all the elements in set A is present in set B, it means A is proper set of B. Okay, B contains the elements, all the elements in set A. B contains all the elements in set A also. Then it means superset of A. B is the superset of A. Since n of B is greater than n of A, B is a superset of A. I think you will be clear with proper set and superset. Now let's learn intervals of subsets. Okay, so intervals means, for example, when we give 0 less than x less than 10. Okay, so this is the interval. It means x lies between 0 and 10. Okay, so now we have two types of intervals. One is open interval, one is closed interval. Open interval means the endpoints will not be included. If it is closed interval, the endpoints also will be included. Start and endpoint will be included. So when we have only less than or greater than, then it is called open symbol, open interval. Okay, so A less than x less than B, it means it is open interval. This is open interval. Okay, so now let me give you all an example. 0 less than x less than 5. It means we can have the numbers in between 0 and 5. That is 1, 2, 3 and 4 alone. Okay, we cannot have 0 and 5 because it is 0 is less than that x, no, so 1 is less than x, so we will be taking that, and we cannot take 5 because x is less than 5, no, so therefore we are stopping with 4. It means it is open interval. When it is open interval, we cannot add the start and end points. This is what open interval. Okay, so open interval is represented by just a curved bracket. Okay, so when we have less than equal to and equal to over here also, then it is called closed interval because the start and end point are added or included. Okay, so here itself, if I have 0 less than equal to x less than equal to 5, it means I will have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, I will have all the elements starting from the start point to the end point. So this is called closed interval and it is denoted by square brackets. Okay, next this is called closed open interval. Okay, so why? Because this is closed, this symbol is for closed and this is open. Now here, since it is less than equal to, it means this is included. Included means closed. Okay, and here it is not included. Why? Because no equal to symbol, so it is called open. So this is closed open, so it will be called as closed open interval. Okay, closed open interval. For example, when I take 0 less than equal to x less than 5, okay, it means 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We will be stopping with 4 only because it is closed open interval. So now you will automatically know that this is open closed interval. You know why? Because it is less than. Here it is not closed, it is open. Why? Because there is no equal to symbol over here. This is open and x less than equal to b. It means it is equal to, so the endpoint is included, so it will be closed. Okay, so this will be open closed, open closed interval. Okay, this is called open closed interval. First one is open interval, closed interval, closed open interval, open closed interval. Okay, these are the types of intervals, so you have to be very clear with this only we will be doing it in our sums. And if you make a slight changes also, if you make any mistake in finding this, then you will go wrong. So you have to be very careful while doing this, and this is one of the important concept that you have to note. Next topic, power of set. Okay, so let me give you all an example, then we will move on. Okay, so power of set is nothing but the subset of the given set. Okay, so that is what power of set. For example, a is equal to 1 and 2. Okay, so now we have to check what all subset, the possible subsets we have to take. Okay, so now a is p of a, this represents power of set of a. Okay, now this also should be written within lower braces. First, for all the sets, 5 is the subset. First 5 is the subset, that is the void set. Okay, this is must. For every set, whatever set you take, however bigger set it is or small set it is, you will have the 5. Okay, next we have to take each and every element separately. So we'll have 1, next 2, then all together 1 and 2. When we do with more and more elements, I will teach you how to do it. Okay, so I have 5 here, then first element, the second element, and first and 2, the both the element. So since this is my set here, I'm just stopping with this. So now you may ask, how should I find all this? Fine, let me teach you. There's a formula, n of p of a. It means the number of elements in the power set a is equal to 2 power m. For example, when we take the set a itself, so when n of a is equal to 2, because 2 elements only is present, no, so this will be my m. The number of elements in that given set is called m. Okay, so the number of n of p of a will be 2 power m. It means 2 power m. Here it is 2 power 2, where it is 4. So we will have 4 subsets only. So now we'll count this 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore 4 subsets only we have found. So 4 subsets only is possible by using this formula. Okay, so I think now you will be clear. So power of sets means the number of possible subsets we are taking, that is the power of set. It is nothing but it is the subset of the given set. Okay, so now we have to find how many subsets we can make. No, so we will be using this formula, n of p of a, which is equal to 2 power m. M takes the value of number of elements in the given set. So we will substitute the value of m here, then we will find how much is possible. Okay, definition: collection of all subsets. Collection of all subsets of a set A is called power of set. Okay, I think you will be clear now. It is denoted by P of A. Okay, P of A, every element is a set. Okay, as I said, subset, no, subset. So it is a set. So this is one set, this is one set. So only we are representing within flower braces. Okay. So this is the formula to find how many power of set we will get. Okay, this is also an important formula. Next set is universal set. So now if I give you the definition, you will be little confused. So I'll explain you more clearly when we do the sums. I'll just give you a gist of what is universal set. Okay, so set which contains all the other subset. For example, I am taking a is equal to x such that x belong to n means, so x starts from 1, 2, 3 to infinity. Okay, so it contains all the numbers. So I can have many subsets. Okay, Okay, for B example, B is equal to x such that x belong to n, where x less than or equal to 100. Then C is equal to x such that x belong to n, where x is equal to x is less than or equal to 200 or something. It goes on, no, or else 2x is less than or equal to 200. It is just like that, no. So if we take like that, so here these are all subsets because every elements in set B is present in set A. No, the number less than 100 is present in all the natural numbers, and the number less than 2x is less than or equal to 200. No, even this is present in natural numbers. So I will say that A is universal set because in all the set, all the elements of these two sets are present in A. So I'm saying it is a universal set and it is denoted by the capital letter U.
If you have any doubts, mention it in the comment box.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.